Baruch, good morning, Rabbi. We are less than 30 days from Pesach. It's a pretty scary thought, but everybody knows the famous Gemara in Masechet Pesachim Daf Vav Amud Aleph. Shoalim v'dorshim b'ilchot Pesach kodem Pesach 30 yom. That from within 30 days of Pesach, you have to already start learning the laws of Pesach. So the Ran and the Bet Yosef, the very first Bet Yosef in Hilchot Pesach, asks a contradiction between that Gemara that we just said. They have to start learning the halachot 30 days before. There's another Gemara at the end of Masechet Megillah, Daf Lamed Bet. The Gemara says, "Shoalim v'dorshim b'ilchot Pesach bePesach." You learn the laws of Pesach on Pesach. So the Bet Yosef asks, decide, make up your mind. Is it 30 days before, or is it on Pesach? Which one is it? So he brings three terutzim, brings down three answers. First answer, he says, no, that makes that we can learn all of the laws of the other Yamim Tovim on all other Yamim Tovim. Why? Because it's short enough. Shavuot doesn't really have any halachot specific to it. It's like any other Yom Tov. Sukkot, yes, there are a lot of laws, Sukkah Lulav, but he says the Ran, most Sukkot are ksherot, most Lulavim, ksherim. Therefore what? There's not so many halachot. The one exception to the rule is Pesach. Pesach has so many dinim. And he says, if you start on Pesach, most of it's irrelevant already because most of Ilchot Pesach has to do with before Pesach, Erev Pesach, and Haga'ala, and all these things. So that's one answer. Another answer is it has nothing to do with learning. He says it has to do with the Murah Ura'ah. It has to do with the Rav. The Halacha is, if a person comes over to a Rav now, and he says, I have a question about Hanukkah. Yeah, what's the Halacha? What can the Rav tell him?
Wait till Hanukkah.
Says, wait, come back by Hanukkah, I'll answer you. I don't have to answer you now. So therefore, the Gemara is trying to say, when do we expound the laws of Pesach that's on Pesach? When does the Rav have to start being ready to answer the questions of people that come to ask about Pesach? That's within 30 days. The Halacha, the Mishnah Berurah in Bi'ur Halacha in the beginning of Hilchot Pesach, holds like the first answer of the Bet Yosef, and therefore he says it has nothing to do with the Rav, it has to do with everybody, and therefore he says preferably, whatever anybody's learning. Everybody's learning something every day. Right? That's what makes a religious Jew. He has to be Kove'aitim la Torah. So now, whatever you're learning, according to the Biur Halacha, you have to stop what you're learning and focus and learn only Hilchot Pesach. Kach Pasak, Hagon, Mishnah Berurah. Maran Zechron Avrachan Yabiya Omer Chelek Bet, Siman Kav Bet, disagrees with the Mishnah Berurah. He says the Ikar Ta'am of the Bet Yosef is the second answer. We see that from the Shulchan Aruch as well, which means that you don't have to stop learning if you're learning about Shabbat, continue. That's all fine. But the Rav has to be prepared to answer from within 30 days of Pesach. And guess what? Another thing is that a person has to be prepared for himself. Everybody's a Rav in his own house. What do you think? Every time something comes up, a person has to be prepared. Every single person has to make time now to learn a little bit every day. A little bit to be prepared. Why? Like we just read in Megillat Esther. Even Achashverosh understood that every man has to be the authority in his house. Because if the wife's the authority, ish k'tzat ba'aya. Person has to be, at least in Halacha. In Halacha, in Miled Ishmaya, things that have to do with heaven, the husband has to be the authority. Otherwise, yeh balagan. So everybody has to make time, whether or not you're spending intense time on it. If you're learning Daf Yomi Hilchot Pesach, matov manayim. But otherwise, learn a little bit every day of Hilchot Pesach in order to be proficient with these laws. Yom Tov.